As stated in previous other videos and many other instances, I have seen and watched Naruto several times. But I have a question for you. How many times while enjoying this series have you heard or seen takes like this? I don't know about you, but I see it pretty frequently for a character that I never take the time to look up. I've read and watched this series several times, and while these memes are funny, I feel it often gets taken out of context and taken a little too seriously, and this leads to a lot of people hating the character outright. See, I have a functioning brain, so I can clearly see that the character isn't as poorly written as a lot of people make him out to be, or even as racist as people make him out to be. In fact, I don't think Tobirama deserves hardly any of this hate at all. But for the sake of the argument, today I will be playing devil's advocate and looking at the moments throughout Tobirama's life that make him so detestable, and see if he's truly as bad as people make him out to be. And if you like videos like this and you want to see more, don't forget to hit that like button down below for me. Make sure you are subscribed. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers before the end of the year. I'm going to be streaming more often, so if you want to see some gaming, if you have ideas for videos that you want to see, let me know down in the comment section below. Like previously mentioned in my Sasuke being Naruto's biggest walking L video, there are usually two ways we could go about looking at Tobirama's time on screen, and that's either chronologically, as events take place for us as the reader, meaning to read the information as we get it, or to take a look at Tobirama's life chronologically through age. And if our goal today is to have a better understanding of Tobirama, then starting at a character's childhood is always the best choice. Born as the second son to the head of the Senju clan during the Warring States period, which was a time when there was no large villages such as the Leaf, and almost all neighboring villages would war with each other for the prospect of claiming new land and resources. But the main problem doesn't just arise with war, it's war and power. The Uchiha and Senju were easily the most powerful clans in the Land of Fire, and as such, other smaller villages would often hire one of the two clans for invasion purposes, war, escorts, etc. However, when this would happen, the target of the hiree would just end up hiring the other powerful clan in response. And as such, the Uchiha and the Senju were constantly thrust into bloody battle with each other, whether they wanted to fight or not. As we all know, war is bloody, unforgiving, and war never changes. Itama, the younger brother to Tobirama, was barely 7 years old when he was deemed fit to become a shinobi and was thrown onto the battlefield. Itama, the younger brother to Tobirama, was barely 7 years old when he was surrounded on the battlefield by 5 adults and ruthlessly murdered. Itama, the younger brother to Tobirama, was barely 7 years old when he was killed by 5 adult Uchiha. While there may have been some disdain before due to constant scuffles, Tobirama strikes me as the type of person who could also respect an opponent as well. But after this, what respect could be left in an angry young man's heart? What respect remains after hearing the clan you're constantly at war with couldn't even do the courtesy of giving a child passage, or at the very least an honorable death? And before you argue that, well, this is war and that's just to be expected, yes, but no. We see time and time again through the media that 1, children are supposed to be sacred, and 2, that opponents, even at the farthest of odds with each other, can still respect each other on the battlefield. But this attack in Tobirama's mind probably just looks like brutality, and I don't blame him for having strong emotions because of this. So, what comes next? Well, to jump to his tenure as Kage would be a little disingenuous because there was still a lot that happened during his early 20s in the Warring States period. After the death of his 2 brothers, Tobirama banded together with his older brother, Hashirama, and decided on making a world where children no longer had to die on the battlefield any longer. And in order to enact his plan, his brothers started making alliances with other clans, including that of the Uchiha. Though the alliance was short-lived, as battles between the Uchiha and Senju continued for many of Tobirama's younger years. These battles are actually what showcase a lot of his genius. While fighting the Uchiha, Tobirama was constantly put up against Izuna, a Mangekyo Sharingan wielder in his own right. And as we see events fold out, Tobirama is the one who ultimately ends Izuna's life. So he's an extremely powerful shinobi in his own right. It was during this period that he mastered water style and even created the flying Raijin technique. But for the sake of our purpose today, we'll skip a lot of that and move on to the first strike Tobirama gets against him, and that's planning to kill Madara when he's defenseless on the ground. Because in his mind, Madara is a lost cause. See, Izuna was actually Madara's younger brother, and when Izuna died at Tobirama's hands, Madara developed an undying grudge due to his younger brother's wishes, and Tobirama could see this. He saw that no matter what they said or did, Madara would always try to come back and kill them, which would never end the cycle of hatred and peace. But Tobirama is ultimately stopped by Hashirama, and the two clans come together finally to create the village hidden in the leaves. The creation of the Leaf Village was a long and strenuous process, but one that made the surrounding clans happy. However, there was still trouble brewing inside the village. Knowing that there was still unrest within the Uchiha clan and Madara himself, Tobirama acted as a confidant to his older brother who, for lack of a better phrase, was often enamored by Madara. See, Hashirama saw himself in Madara and saw them as two sides of the same coin. But Tobirama didn't see things the same way. So when the time came that Hashirama just openly suggested that Madara become the leader of the village, Tobirama was obviously against this as Madara was still untrustworthy in his eyes. Even the Uchiha themselves were not too popular with Madara's decisions, and as it were, Hashirama was voted Hokage as he was the most popular. Other notable moments around this time frame include Hashi and Tobirama having the first Gokage summon, and selling various tailed beasts that they had captured to other nations to allow them to feel secure and keep power equal amongst everybody. However, notably, Hashirama wanted to give the tailed beasts away while Tobirama forced him to make the other nations pay. And this was a good idea, as the money that he received from the tailed beasts is what helped Konoha grow and develop into the most dominant village that we know today. But, of course, all good things must eventually come to an end. And war never changes, as once again Madara challenged Hashirama, except this time, he lost. After his death, Tobirama took the body back to his lab for study, and then buried Madara's body in a spot unknown to everyone else. While it's unclear whether or not any Uchiha knew of this, it's hard to imagine they wouldn't have mixed feelings about an Uchiha's body being examined by a Senju so thoroughly, even if it was Madara. Shortly following this is actually the death of Hashirama and the start of Tobirama's tenure as Kage. And remember that before Hashirama was willing to sacrifice himself to enact peace between the Senju and the Uchiha clans, he had to remind his brother not to take out his hatred on the Uchiha, as he thinks that Tobirama sees darkness in the Uchiha themselves. But there needn't be any worry here, as the main problem of the Uchiha, according to Tobirama, was always Madara. Madara was the darkness that he had the problems with, not the Uchiha themselves. Tobirama even makes drastic steps such as disbanding the Senju, creating the Ninja Academy, Anbu, the Chunin exams, all for the sake of making the village stronger and safer. And this by proxy is for the Uchiha as well, making the place they live safer and easier for them to thrive. However, this leads into one of the main discussions against Tobirama as Kage, and that's electing to make the Uchiha the police of the Hidden Leaf. Now, there's a big misconception that Tobirama did this on purpose in order to make their relations with citizens tense. I mean, think about it, who really likes the police? And if police officers with glowing red eyes and the ability to shoot fire out of their mouths are the ones stopping me, I'm probably gonna be a little terrified. Just a little bit. So, from the Uchiha perspective, I can empathize with how they feel. But if you look at their set of abilities and look at things logically, I can also empathize with Tobirama's reasoning as well. After countless battles, Tobirama knows how capable the Uchiha are, and with the ability to see through walls, detect chakra, hypnotize, and extract information from people, all with just their basic eye powers, why wouldn't he want that as their police force? Name me a single clan that could do it better. You can't. Tobirama didn't select the Uchiha as the police in order to contain them within the village or to cause strife between the Uchiha and villagers, but because he knew how capable they were. I mean, really guys, let's take a step back and think about everything he's done. He's helped develop the leaf, created powerful jutsu, and then outlawed them after wartime as they were meant as tools of war, so he has a good forethought, gave the Uchiha a working outlet, developed several factions within the leaf like the Anbu and the Chunin exams, and ultimately does nothing but love and have pride for his village. Again, he disbanded the Senju clan and told them to intermingle with the other clans of the leaf, so to bolster the power and bonds. This man has pride for his home and wants to protect the children more than anything. So why would he go out of his way to create more conflict with the clan he knows is the most capable of rivaling him? The last point I'd like to make is during his last moments as second Hokage. As we all know, Tobirama and his crew are in the middle of a war and become surrounded by several shinobi and the Gold and Silver Brothers of the Cloud Village, which ultimately leads to Tobirama sacrificing himself for the future of the leaf. He passes on the title of Hokage to a young Hiruzen, and Danzo is shown right beside him, frustrated by the developments. But if we take a look at the rest of his crew... Oh! What do we have here? Is that an Uchiha on the racists team? Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, maybe this is just the best group of ninja available, like during the Sasuke rescue mission. Nope. Tobirama hand chose this group of ninja, and this individual happens to be Kageme Uchiha, who is Shisui's grandfather. The point I'm trying to make here is this group of shinobi were hand-selected by Tobirama himself, and he chose an Uchiha to be part of his team. Sure, you could argue that he only did this for the abilities that Kagame possessed, but that's not what a racist would do. A racist would exclude him regardless of what he's capable of or has at his disposal. And while we don't get any information about Kagame and his relation to the second Hokage, it can be presumed that there was a close bond there if Kagame had stuck around for any amount of time and was willing to die in battle for the protection of a Senju. So that's pretty much it. Tobirama isn't a racist. You're just bad at reading context clues if you think so. And hey, if you think I'm wrong, why don't you tell me why down in the comment section below? Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit longer than a couple videos that I've put out recently, but regardless, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to tell me in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, that way you know when each and every single one of these videos comes out. And if you have any future ideas of what you'd like to hear me talk about, let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you all next time.